Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Montreal Overwatch League English cast on this beautiful Wednesday evening. We are here live to show you two incredible games coming up tonight. One between Team Status Dusk and Vicious Phantom, and the second one between the Grizzlies and Team Concordia Esports. And joining me today, my good friend, returning from Valentine's Day shenanigans, the great Dimmy.
Okay.
How are you doing, Dimmy?
I'm all right. I've been
doing,
okay.
Doing all right. You're doing all right.
Not too bad. Valentine's Day shenanigans, eh?
Look. We didn't know what you were
Interesting.
doing last week. I'm not going to ask you now because it is inappropriate. We are in a professional work environment, and we shouldn't ask these things on air. But if you want to, if you want to poke him around a bit, you want to challenge him to some kind of duel for the love of his date or whatever, it's fine. We don't condone these things, but it's on Twitch, so you're gonna do whatever the hell you want anyway.
I've been here for 10 seconds and I'm getting flamed already. Great.
He's been getting flamed since he arrived. He's been getting flamed over, Concordia's performance in the past couple of weeks.
Come on, man. They're doing their best.
What's their record already, my friend?
I don't know.
Because
They
this is
lose a lot of games.
this is the 5th week of action. Their record is 1-4.
I mean, their record is bad because you played the good teams first and then all the
Oh,
bad teams.
that's
Or
what
like not
happened.
bad teams, but less good teams.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Obviously,
Yes.
Concordia's been a staple of the Montreal Overwatch League for
Well,
2
thanks,
seasons
man.
now. They're going to do quite well today, aren't they?
Maybe.
Maybe. They have a match coming up against the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies have been kind of relentless. They lost only one game, and that game was because of technical difficulties. They had to forfeit last week, which was a bit of an unfortunate turn of events for them. But they are back this week. They will play their game, and they are pretty confident against Concordia. But first, Team Status Dusk versus Vicious Phantom. What can you tell me about Vicious Phantom, my friend?
Well, they're both teams that are trying to prove themselves. Vicious Phantom, throughout the weeks, have proved like they have something to show us. They bring out interesting strategies. They try out new things versus every single team, but it never ends up the way they wanted to or really set out to do at the start of the match. So hopefully this is the week where they could really show us what they have versus Team Status Dusk.
And they do have a win on their record, and that's because, as we said, the Grizzlies had to forfeit against them last
It's a
week.
very interesting win. Your single win.
I mean, Dusk doesn't have that kind of leisure. They do not have a win yet on their record, but they did quite well last week against the Lanny TS, not Lanny TS. I keep thinking
ETS.
about Lanny TS, but Esports ETS team, the ETS Phoenix. They did quite well. Fought to the very end in a gauntlet, an absolute marathon of a match on, I believe it was Volskaya Industries.
Yep,
We
great
had
map.
we had one
Quality.
one hell of a match, and it lasted forever. This week, they're going to try to get things rolling, get the engine revving against Vicious Phantom. But first of all, we have to show you today's maps. Here they are. We are going to start with Ilios, a control point map, one of the classic maps of Overwatch. Then we're going to go into an escort map in Junkertown, one of the newer map setups, and that's going to be very interesting to see how my favorite disposition is probably Concordia versus Grizzlies tonight, but definitely Dusk versus Phantom, two teams that, as we said, have tried to prove themselves in the past. Going into Junkertown like this is going to be very interesting to see how they can take a newer map and maybe try something a little more off meta. And of course, we're going to go into Temple of Anubis if we do need a tiebreaker. I do want your thoughts, though, on Junkertown as a map for both of these setups tonight, for both of these challenges, these duels that we're going to have.
So Junkertown is a really difficult map to really have a set strategy and execute it properly. The map is very wide open, so the first point, you have your sort of bridge area, but you also have a second one, and then the whole backside of the point, you have an Overwatch looking down at the point. And when you're trying to attack this, there's too many angles to really set up and hold yourself. So you got to be aware of your surroundings at all times and pretty much try and brute force the enemy team. Very,
right.
very weird map. I don't like it. Not a fan.
Do you think that one of these teams, either Dusk or Phantom, can surprise our opposition with something completely off meta? From what we've seen so far, Phantom have a good comprehension of what they need to do in order to win, but they seem to have a bit of trouble with the execution, just as you said before. Dusk is a bit on the opposite side, where their ideas are usually pretty cookie cutter, where they're doing very well in the game sense department, but their execution sometimes is a bit lackluster.
So I think Phantom actually has the upper hand on this map. The map is very, as I said, kind of strange, and I think coupled with Vicious Phantom's kind of kooky strategies, I think it will pay out for them.
All
If
right.
they can get the win
So-
on that map, we'll have a game 3.
What about Concordia versus Grizzlies? I know we
Oh,
say it
come on, man.
every week. Concordia, you're the guy for them. You've been taking care of their esports division for a little while now, so you know these players and that team like the back of your hand. But I want your thoughts on the Grizzlies, though, because we've seen them a couple of times this season, and they've been in quite a good form. They are kind of set to take the season by force, but they have a bit of contention with Mirage, changing the rosters, getting new players in the mix. What do you think about the Grizzlies in this matchup particularly?
In this matchup, I think the Grizzlies obviously have the upper hand. The map's not really going in Concordia's favor. Ilios kind of strange. Junkertown, not really a big favorite. I remember myself when I played with some of the players on Junkertown, it was just a fiesta. We didn't know what was going on. But I think that's changed from now, so maybe they could have a closer series. I don't expect a win out of Concordia's side, but I expect them to at least perform better than they have in the past.
Okay, so hiding your bias for the night, that's very good. That's good, Timmy.
I'm not hiding my regional bias, though.
Oh, no, the original bias is fine, though. Guys, the Olympics have been crazy. They've been nuts so far. I've been following as much as I can.
Are you going to wear a Norway shirt next time?
I know. I'm not from Norway, so I'm not going to do that.
Pretend you're from Norway.
But
I'm from Greece.
I've read multiple articles, and actually that's quite interesting, and I want to take just a tiny bit of time to hear your thoughts about this, because I read an article, I think it was on the CBC, that really researched their ways and progressing their development for young athletes, and really not focusing on the prizes and really developing sports as more of an activity and a passion more than as a competition per se. And Norway has been doing really well in some of the past Olympics because of that very specific goal they had in mind when creating their program. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is the way that esports is going, that we could see potentially with esports being an Olympic sport now?
I feel like esports is kind of the in-between, where you want to really prioritize the competitive, but you also want to you kind of want to take care of the community and more grow it towards, we want to have fun and enjoy the sport itself. So it's, especially when you're running clubs or stuff, you're kind of split down the middle. You want both sides equally, but I think it's a very good path to support the enjoyment of the sports. And a lot of the esports players right now came straight out of that background. A lot of the TF2 players who are just playing the game for fun came into Overwatch. A lot of the Dota players, Warcraft 3, straight into League of Legends, and history.
I mean, I think that's probably one of the most direct lines of thoughts that we can have. Gaming comes from a background of simply having fun, and I think esports as a whole, even though the competitive community has been creating itself and kind of solidifying itself through a couple of years past, but really, Norway would be pretty proud of how esports is doing so far. So, all right.
I mean, Denmark has all the esports players.
Yeah, man. You know, Denmark's not
Froggen.
doing that well in the Olympics,
I
though,
mean,
you know.
Okay.
All right,
Froggen's not in the Olympics. You can't carry them.
That's what happens. All right, we're going to head into our first game of the night pretty quickly, though. We do want to go into the overview for our first map of the night on Ilios, just so you have a bit of an idea of what's happening tonight.
My country.
Your country?
I mean, Blizzard's interpretation of Greece.
Ah, come on. Dude,
Not always like this.
Talk to us.
No spaceships in Greece.
No
But
spaceships in
Ruins,
Greece.
great map for Widowmaker. We saw both teams bring out the Widowmaker a few times. So probably we'll see it again tonight. I expect it.
I mean, it's been kind of a wild map for practically every team, and Ruins is a very good spot for Widowmaker to thrive. Now, Well is probably very different. We're probably going to see a lot more Lucios.
Lucio, Roadhog,
yeah,
Orisa,
Roadhog.
all that stuff that puts you in the hole. Very This Is Sparta-esque.
Puts you in the hole.
And don't scheme my words like that. Come
Oh,
on,
no,
man.
I'm not saying anything. My friend, not saying anything. I'm
And
just thinking.
Lighthouse if we need it. Lighthouse would be interesting. Both teams usually run different compositions on Lighthouse. Pretty much every team runs a different comp on Lighthouse, and none really has the upper hand. We see a lot of Pharah and that kind of stuff, which works really well on that. So
We're gonna see. This
kind of
is
up in the
super
air.
interesting because every control map so far has been well contested between both teams in every match or practically every match. And this is probably the occasion for maybe weaker teams to take over more solidified teams as a unit because Deathball is easier to run on maps like this where you can technically take over the point. It is the defensive side that is usually more difficult to maintain for teams like this. What do you think about the defensive strategy that Dusk or Phantom may be bringing with their opponents in mind?
Especially on Well, I feel like we're going to see a lot of Orisa and really teams holding back and really counting on their Roadhog hooks to go in and start a fight. So usually what you try and do is you hold back with the Orisa, see if you can get a pick, try and break the other shield, and then after that, after the pick, speed boost in with the Lucio and try and finish them off and take that point. Not totally sure if it's going to happen on both sides. It'd be interesting just to see an Orisa shield war on either side, but I think we're
I've
most
never
likely
seen that
going to see a
happen.
Pharah or something like that.
Never seen an Orisa war happen in this current meta.
Really?
Never seen that.
Never.
I don't know what you're talking
Never.
about. Orisa's not a popular character
No,
right
they're-
now.
They should just remove that hero.
Remove it. No,
Re-
she's fine. She's fine. Remove it.
You never seen her anyways.
Mercy, that character is
I
what's
mean,
happening.
she's already gone.
Mercy? No, I don't know what you're talking about. She's still there, right there.
Sure, dude.
In every comp. Every comp. Still,
Were you
still there.
casting from like 3 weeks ago?
I entered my time machine, my hot tub time machine, and I went back to the time where Mercy was just a must and was extremely boring.
Remember the
to play.
good old days where you'd win a team fight and then Mercy would come in and res everyone? That was great.
Well, what do you think about the current meta? Because I know the current season of the Overwatch League has picked up. They are now entering the second phase of their season. I think this is interesting. This is a weird part of the meta right now, where we're transitioning between what Mercy used to be and what Moira seems to be taking over. And we were discussing this last week on the cast. Moira seems to be kind of a must, just like Mercy was, and maybe a hidden great champion of this game,
Especially
maybe just
in-
ready to take over the meta.
Especially in maps where you're trying to brute force the point. We saw it on Lunar Colony especially, where you're in a really tight quarters. Moira can really get her spray off multiple people. And especially escort maps where Moira coming in handy. But we're watching some Overwatch League just now, and we saw a lot of Zenyatta and Lucio. So Zenyatta, still really good.
Yeah, I mean, he's been good for a long time now, but again, with Mercy as such an important character in the past meta, it was so difficult to steer away from the easy combo of Lucio and Mercy. Get
Good
this-
Zenyatas too, on the other hand.
Yeah.
Liu Jiehong,
Oh, absolutely.
insane.
Absolutely. It's just a little less common because Mercy was such a prominent character. You couldn't have more diverse compositions. But honestly, right now, having a good Lucio to speed boost your Zenyatta, take good positioning, and really dominate the healing game with very small bursts of heal, it's very important to have that on your Zenyatta, because if you can get the shots, you can get the ultimate, and if you have the ultimate regularly, you win fights all the time.
We've been seeing Stealth on Concordia's side, actually, probably one of the better Zenyatas in the league, where he'll get so much damage off, and his Discord orbs are pretty much always on the right target, and that target will get melted if it comes in contact with a Roadhog hook or a tank. But kind of vulnerable at the same time to characters like Tracer and Genji coming back into the meta slowly. But for tonight, I think we might see a lot of Moira, actually.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting, especially considering that
Especially Vicious Phantom, you never know.
yeah, exactly. You never know what they're going to come up with, but also she's a fairly, I'll say, simple character to use on the upstart. Mechanically speaking, you can
Pretty
simply
intensive mechanically.
yeah, it is
a point.
definitely a focused character, but very simple. Not easy to play. No character, in my opinion, is easy to play in the game if you play it at the highest level possible.
Bastion, probably.
Stop it. Actually, you could argue that Bastion is actually the most difficult character to use at
What?
a high level
Because he's
because no one
terrible?
uses him.
Okay. I mean, you kind of look in a direction, you hold left mouse button.
Look, I could argue that position all day because, I mean, Bastion is my president.
What?
But, you know,
What? Bastion is your president?
look, he's everyone's president. He's
How?
the
He's a
president.
robot.
You gotta protect the president.
What?
Demi's confused. And maybe so
Is
are
this
you at
like
home.
innuendo quote from like a movie or something? Like I don't understand.
It's just the protect the president comp.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. You broke me. I don't understand what's going on anymore.
I'm a bit mad. And look, if you're in the chat right now and you didn't get the joke, you can be mad at me. It's fine. I can take it. But mostly be mad at him. Because, you know, he's supposed to be my co-caster, you know?
I don't understand these obscure references. What are you doing?
Obscure references? These aren't obscure as much as they are dumb. And that is all that I am, guys. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. We're going to head into our game pretty soon once again.
Still missing a few players.
Yeah, we're still preparing, so don't worry. It's coming. They are going to be here. Concordia, though, I want to hear your thoughts about this new lineup. We've seen Hansen being a new development in the team. He hasn't played for the team for a little while. He started playing again, I believe, 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
And then stopped again.
He stopped again, yes. Last
So
week did not play
the
with
Concordia team is still in flux. I believe today is the last day to change your roster. So last week they played with Tweak, which was a substitute tank player who actually pretty promising. This week I don't think he'll be starting. Misa will be starting again, along with Subtraction. Run decided to play some Fortnite instead. So bringing in Subtraction to replace the void he left.
Okay. Okay. What is the composition for tonight? Do you know the full lineup for tonight specifically?
Ooh, I believe it's Miso, JMKZ, Stealth, Subtraction, Pink Panda, and Codman.
Okay, so no Hansen.
No Hansen. Miso. He went from Chinaman to Quebec Man.
So no Hansen is a permanent loss.
No.
Does he look
Unless
into
you're
my
playing
eyes?
like Escape from Tarkov,
Okay,
then
well,
Hansen's on your team.
look. Tell him that he needs to play real games at some point.
I mean, that game's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean it's fun, but it's not real.
He thinks PUBG is bad.
Okay, well now I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I don't play PUBG that much. What I do want to know though is how Concordia will take their spot and solidify their because we've
How do we
talked
beat
about
the
this.
Grizzlies?
I don't know if they're going to beat the Grizzlies, but we've talked about this time and time again how they are supposed to be the experienced team in the league. They have been here for a long time. They've been playing for the past 2 seasons. They've had great results in both previous seasons, and right now they seem to be in a difficult spot. How do you think they're going to turn that around?
Well, always with university teams or collegiate teams, it's very difficult to find a solid roster, mostly because people's schedules is always in flux. Your team in the fall will never be totally identical as your team in the winter time, right? So, for example, for us specifically in the fall, most of our players were doing internships. That meant they worked 9 to 5 and then have the night off. But for this semester, most of the students have returned back to school, which means your schedule is more hectic. So more hectic schedules mean less practice time. So you're always in flux. ETS probably suffers a similar thing. UDM also deciding not to play this tournament because of lacking players and whatnot. So you're always in a complicated spot as a university team. But in terms of their issues, mostly because, again, the practice issues, either players not having time to practice as much, a lack of new players, and it's always one of those factors. It's not like a really stable team where you're like, oh, we're missing a DPS, but let's bring him in. Sometimes the players aren't there simply in a university team, so
More of a fluctuation
yeah,
capacity.
It's very off and on.
You do need flexible players to be capable of really fitting into a university team like that. So, I mean, best of luck to them finding the right players to stick it
They'll
up.
do
and
their
just-
best tonight.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they always do their best. Now, we do have all of the players ready for our first game of the night. Team status Dusk versus Vicious Phantom. We are headed into Ilios for our first map of the game.
Looks
Team
like
status
one of the
Dusk.
players have DC.
Some of I believe that. Oh, that may be a problem Let's see what happens now.
Just waiting for him to connect.
Yeah.
He's coming in.
It shouldn't be too long.
Waiting.
We're still waiting. We are very patient.
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt. Okay, team status Dusk versus Vicious Phantom. We are going to start in Ruins. I mean, you did talk a bit about how Widowmaker might be of a presence in this one. What do you think? I mean, Leclerc is setting up for a Widowmaker pick right now. Maybe that won't be the final pick. It is still just a skirmish. But I do want to know your thoughts on the kind of composition that would help a Widowmaker dominate this game.
Really, dive helps the Widowmaker. A distraction that keeps people away from the Widow really helps Widow, weirdly enough. So, teams that also can peel for her, so Lucio, very good helping the Widow. If your Widow gets dove on by Winston or D.Va, Lucio comes up there and helps you. So,
Alright.
Very interesting names coming out of Vicious Phantom. I think we're going to call him Top and Leclerc.
I mean, yeah. That's what I go for, or at least that's what I've gone for the past couple of weeks now. Because, Leclerc and Top, right?
Man, this Orisa is freaking house over there.
I mean, it's Moneymaker. We all know.
Oh, Widow duel. All right, one chicken out. Instead of May.
Arctic doing
Interesting.
quite well. At least a bit of action before we start this game. The skirmish is always interesting, seeing players kind of warm up.
Pick their favorite heroes, Bastion.
Yeah, usually you can see a couple of cool,
Hanzo.
cool little plays there, mechanically at least.
Hanzo showing us the map and the walls and everything you can climb up on.
Who doesn't want to pick Hanzo in skirmish, though?
Dude, everyone in comp wants to pick Hanzo.
Everyone in confidence.
I've been playing some quick plays lately, and then every single time I QS3, the last three are Genji, Hanzo, Widow. Every single game. Oh, come on, man. Get in here. We have a game to cast. He's making us wait.
Always making us wait.
So, as we wait for that,
we'll see. Still
Stay
problematic because I think there are a couple of problems connecting here, but shouldn't be too long before we have definitive answers to what's going on. I believe that maybe a connection issue with the server.
most likely.
We did have a couple of issues like this with the Grizzlies
We
last
had
week.
last week as well with the Concordia team. I think everyone played the week versus Mirage. I remember our entire team had 150 ping and got super tilted off that. Which is the things happen sometimes with online servers and of course Blizzard. It's not a LAN, so
maybe it's a conspiracy. Maybe the
That too.
Overwatch League is affecting the servers to such a degree that it's impossible to play.
we can blame Soul Dynasty or the
Yeah.
LA Valiant.
Oh yeah. They just want you to watch the games. That's what they want. So
They want me to
buff
watch
up the
Koreans
servers.
play. I'm like,
Yeah.
what an insane strategy.
Trash your servers, and you're like, well
I guess
what
I
do
have
you,
to watch
What do you
now.
have to do now? You just have to watch some Overwatch.
I think now
That's
we're
how
gonna
it
get
goes.
in game for real.
Oh yeah. Wow. We are getting there. 30 seconds countdown. Team status Dusk versus Vicious Phantom. We are finally getting into the game.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! All right, guys. On the side of Team Status Dusk, we have Moneymaker, Alinea, Nazgul, Arctic, DNPP, and Mini. And on the side of Vicious Phantom, as always, we have Nostra, Mighty Magix, Top, Leclerc, Sorrow, and Sim Feroz. Here we go. 30 seconds to prepare the compositions. What do you see so far?
I see a Moira, like we talked about.
I spy with my
A
little
Reaper, which
eye.
has been like the secret OP pick week after week when people don't know what to do versus tank compositions. And we do see a Widow.
That's gonna be interesting. Bound to be interesting, especially considering that Nazgul has been kind of prominent with that pick. We've seen him last week try a couple of nasty things on that Widowmaker, and he's been quite efficient with the character. Well, just as I said, this, don't make me lie, man. Don't do this to me. You make me look foolish.
Well, he did pick the best Widow skin, which is Nova Widow.
That is.
And he has the golden gun, which is pretty hype. That ball getting nowhere. Oh, Winston.
Okay. Directly bouncing up and down on the point of Linea, risking his skin for his team.
That's one pick.
Team status Dusk, yeah, gets the first pick of this one. The trades are coming in, or at least they will pretty soon, and Alinea falls finally to top.
Ooh.
That diva, nice pick
Ooh.
on Nazgul twice.
Dirty.
Sorrow, Mighty Magics falling to the Widowmaker. Another pick on Leclerc, and another one on top.
Put
And
that in the montage.
man, well, at least, even though, you know, we saw what happened earlier, he has redeemed himself.
Yeah, he missed the grappling hook, but he got the kills. I think the kills are more worth it than the grappling hook.
Oh yeah, definitely. Team status Dusk now have the control, and they have 20% and rising, getting their lead on Vicious Phantom right now, and that should be very nice right now. The defensive side, well, just as I say this, 2 picks on the side of Vicious Phantom, they are doing quite well, but Nazgul trying to find the right spot to act on. Snipe these players out. Oh, nice Wraith form from Simferos defending himself against the Widow threat. They have regained a proper control of the point, and 41% is as far as team status Dusk will go in their first capture of the point.
Very interesting composition coming out from Vicious Phantom. Very low range. Reaper, Reinhardt, Genji, for instance, really don't really have the range that, let's say, Team Status Dust has with the McCree, the Widow, and the Zenyatta Nana. But it's very much a war of front lines. Whoever's front line drops first will win the game or lose the game.
Ooh, beautiful grenade from Mini, and now Mighty Magics is gone. Mini still surviving up there. Not a lot of life left on him. No one is willing to heal him, and he's still up top. He's trying to defend himself, and Vicious Phantom will repel their enemies. Ooh, that is one dead Mini. He is getting healed, but
there.
that's good. That's enough to take out the Diva mech. Leclerc doing quite well with the Flame Strike on Mini. Gonna get a bit of that ult charge right there. Not too far along, already used his first one. At 25% and climbing. Kind of setting up for a nice little attack. Team status Dusk doing what they have to do, trying to peek here. Yeah, Nazgul trying to find the right target past the shield.
Vicious Phantom actually playing this well, just staying out of vision of the Widow. You can't get a pick if you can't see them.
Very well
Dragon
so
Blade.
far. Yeah, the Dragon Blade on the side of Mighty Magics.
He's gonna go
losing a lot
hunting.
of life. Not utilizing that one too well. Completely nullified by Dusk, but still kind of garnered the attention of Dusk for too long, and they got caught off guard. Vicious Phantom still wins that one. 87% and climbing. Dusk needs to do something right now if they want to win that first round and get the momentum going their way. Top, going upstairs, trying to do something here. Vicious Phantom still trying to repel as far as possible, and that Reinhardt charge directly on the point in order to get the overtime. Quite well done from Alinea. He is affected by the grenade, though. Not exactly what they want, but still they are winning that fight quite cleanly. Alinea with 3 beautiful eliminations. Only 2 if you don't count that mech as a proper elim, but seriously, Mini finishing off the fight with Simferos' life. That's quite good. They captured that point, 99% for Vicious Phantom, but they are on their way up.
Again, we said this a little bit earlier, where the front line, very crucial. Whoever's front line drops is probably going to lose the fight immediately because the back line is just so squishy and doesn't really have the range to contend with the other Widowmaker. So we saw Reinhardt there drop, and then the game was just done. Widow again. So these shots are just so devastating when you're trying to look for a pick or something and you just get shot for 150.
Alright, Vicious
Ouch.
Phantom directly
Ouch.
in the middle right there. The grenade affecting all of them. Alinea trying to get back in the fight. The overtime is going to have to be contested here. Nice. And Nazgul will have to head into the center of that point. Not exactly the right position to be in if you are Widowmaker, but he's defending himself quite well right now.
He's just
So
trying to buy
doing
time for his team.
Wow, Nostra falls, and right after, Leclerc finds the solution to Nazgul, and that's a big hammer right in his face. 99% of the overtime acting on Vicious Phantom. Is this enough? And yes, Vicious Phantom will take the first round of Ilios. Momentum on their side. They're doing quite well, really.
Dust lacked a bit of DPS that last fight, and it kind of showed. if the Widowmaker couldn't get a pick, he kind of really didn't have much left. McCree not being able to do all the damage by himself. And the Zenyatta actually switching up their comps at the moment. Tracer. Genji.
Probably in this part of town, Widowmaker not as efficient, a lot more hiding spots. Well is definitely
Kind of want to fight more than snipe.
I mean,
Moira.
have multiple options here.
Round.
Interesting.
Alright.
Not opting for the Lucio, instead opting for the Zenyatta Moira. Interesting.
Going directly on it. They want the point first. Vicious Phantom.
Ooh, sneaky
I guess
Tracer.
Yeah, okay. Nazgul trying to flank the team in order to get a bit of a head start here. The fight already begins. Zelinia trying to challenge top on that Diva.
Waiting on that hook cooldown now. Again, canceled twice. That's so unfortunate as a Roadhog player. Your hook just got canceled twice by terrain. But he gets the kills in return. And that's the point.
Yeah. Oh man,
This is such a
unfortunate
feels bad
once
game.
again.
3 hooks in a row canceled.
Magic walls for Dusk, saving their skin, but Vicious Phantom still taking over this point at 10% and climbing. Status Dusk will have to find some kind of answer to Vicious Phantom's defense. They've been stellar so far against their opposition. Mini using the Genji.
Winston dropped so fast there.
Kind of interesting to see Mini on something that isn't McCree. He's had stellar performances. Quite interesting person on that champion, but still Genji. A good pick so far. Working out. Wow. Top isn't doing too hot right now. Linnea completely stopping him, and Mini finishing, not finishing the job, but actually helping with the mech. And team status Dusk will capture that point after 43% only on the side of Vicious Phantom. Trying to do as well as they can. Survive. They have 3 ultimates on their side. Alinea working on his at 89%. On the side of Vicious Phantom, only 2, but then again, 95 and 99. Quite soon they will have 4 of them. Probably will be capable of dominating that team fight.
They're trying to nano the soldier or the Genji.
All right, good
grab
grab.
though.
Moneymaker utilizing that one.
The Transcendence is blocking every single Dragon Blade.
All right, they got the Mech and Nostra out of it, and now Sorrow and Sympharos are falling. Team status Dusk will protect the capture point for one more fight at the very least. 47% right now.
That's not your spawn, Alinea. Just chill. Sing hello. Hello, enemy spawn.
Visiting their friends, their neighbor on the other side of the map.
Oh, of course.
It's a friendly visit.
It's a pastry store.
Yeah.
I can read this map. There's a problem with me in Greek maps. I just go around reading all the signs. Genji, oh, the tag visor,
Wow,
gonna pick
okay.
up 3.
3 eliminations directly on that. They have to take care of the monkey. Sympharos. Quite good tracking so far, but Arctic trying to play party pooper here, but Vicious Phantom doing quite well in that team fight, and they will stop team status Dusk at 82%.
Nano visor really coming in key right there, picking up 3 at the very start of it. So
And you can't start a team fight like that if you want to win it. Team status Dusk losing 3 members of their team at the very beginning of the fight. Probably not exactly the way they want to start their defense on that side. Sympharos on his turn, trying to get a couple of targets, lower their health, pick up a lot of ult charge at already at 67%. Doing quite well defending this point, 76% on their side.
Dragon
Oh, he's
Blade.
falling so low, and Alinea will finish the job as Top uses his ultimate in order to clear the point, but that's not going to be enough. The trades for this team fight are going in the favor of Team Dusk so far. Moneymaker completely picking up Top. No Diva remaining on that one, and they will bring their point.
Vicious Phantom probably gonna only have one more chance to get this point back. Nano visor coming back up. Maybe this can be the turning point. Or Faros to Ilios. The Ilios Lighthouse. Nice.
Here we go, Vicious Phantom trying
There we go.
very desperately to end this map right here, right now. The overtime has been called, 99% versus 95. Very good grab from Moneymaker. Look at that kill feed, completely blue, and Team Status Dusk will probably run away with that one. The overtime, as this team kill is called, is trickling down, and 100% for Team Status Dusk, 1-1. Pretty good showing so far from both teams. Very different ideas, different approaches to how the game is being played. Vicious Phantom trying to gnaw away with a very burst-oriented offense, where Team Status Dusk is a bit more slowly but surely.
Yeah, we're going to see Team Status Dusk actually switch off the Mora. Something I wanted to comment about, where he didn't do as much healing as we thought he would do, and he only really got his ult at the 80% to 80%, so maybe the Lucio kind of a safer pick right there. The Zenyatta I actually thought was really good to cancel out those Dragon Blades, but we're going to move towards Mercy, opting for Pharah here. So Mercy Pharah.
Classic pickup on well here.
Very familiar with it in the Montreal Overwatch League.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rudy.
Cough.
Sorry, just clearing my throat right there. I don't know what happened. Maybe,
Oh, look, both teams have them.
Oh, I wonder why. Gee. All right, Team Status Dusk versus Vicious Phantom. We decide the winner of this map right here, right now on well. And the trades are coming into the favor of Vicious Phantom so far. First engage has already been called. Mighty Magic's picking up the MPP, and Nazgul going to take care of Sympharos. Both of the Pharahs doing quite well for the team right now. Let's go, Nazgul.
Roadhog trying to hook him out of the sky. No, get down.
Everything you can. As Vicious Phantom picks up that first point, we're already at 10%. Mighty Magic's trying to defend as much as possible. He's gotten shot at a tiny bit, so he's maybe retreating, trying to find his footing.
So both teams taking what we said in the pregame, completely taking it and throwing it out the window. No Orisa, one Roadhog only, but Pharah Mercy instead. Guess that works.
That's how it goes. Mini with the high noon.
Not gonna get
yeah.
anything. Meanwhile, so much damage coming out.
Arctic resurrected Mini immediately.
Rocket Barrage.
Knows targets right now, and no, you can't bring anyone with you, top. That's impossible. Team Status Dusk trying to take over the point right now. Good barrage.
He's gonna pay for
Better
it though.
response to it. Only one elimination, and that's going to be Leclerc's mech with that barrage. Very well responded to, but they will still be able to pick up that point after 55% on Vicious Phantom.
Grav is up. We see a big nasty Grav. No Rocket Barrage now, so you can't really Rocket Barrage them in the Grav, but
I mean, still being very patient. You have the Grav, and pretty soon you'll have your
here we go.
ultimate on. Maybe okay. Well, I don't want
any ultimates.
I don't want to comment on that too much. I was just gonna say that they maybe wanted to wait for D.Va's ultimate on that run, but hey,
just
no
kill
need.
them all.
Just kill them all. You said it, man. And just as I say this, Illinia does have his ultimate ready.
Leclerc opting for the Reinhardt.
That's the right skin.
Steady but slowly. That is pretty. The skin is pretty great. I have the golden hammer on that skin, and then that little dangly bit is so cool.
Okay, Flame Strike to clear out the enemy. Illinia
Just
falls,
missing.
though. Not exactly the right kind of beginning for a fight. Leclerc trying to pick up that Roadhog. Finally getting back into the fight. Doesn't want to fall into that well, obviously. Picks up Moneymaker, and yes! No more Zarya. That Flame Strike to pick up a couple of people, but still, kills coming into the favor of Vicious Phantom. They're doing quite well right now, trying to contest the point. Mighty Magic's trying to take care of that Mercy. Ooh, the hook. He's not dead yet. He's being healed, and that is a one. Lucky Genji. The Dragon Blade acting as the final nail in the coffin for this team fight, at least for for Team Status Dusk. Vicious Phantom will take over. 62% and climbing, 86% on the side of Dusk.
That was a lot of ultimates doing a whole lot of nothing. We saw the Roadhog ult not get much. Reinhardt whiffed his Earth Shatter, but then it didn't matter because Genji came in and cleaned them up. So kind of unfortunate on the side of Vicious Phantom because team status Dusk will actually be getting their ult a bit faster. Grav,
Immediately getting hooked, and Arctic is the one to get the last hit on top as Leclerc also falls. Mini doing quite well with the hooks right now. Oh, his ultimate pushes that man into the well. You can't leave.
oh, he did leave.
He did leave, but, you know.
No,
Oh,
no
you
leaving.
can't leave! That's what he's saying. Mini,
Oh, like he
really
dashed into
precise.
the wall.
Again, another fight going to the very end. 99% for Vicious Phantom. Can they contest here? They will try to push them back as far as possible. 96%. They are contesting the point. They have people on it. That's good. The overtime being called and trying to trickle down. Sorry,
Sound
but
barrier.
gonna be enough. A lot of eliminations on the side of Team Status Dusk. They won't have a lot of people left to tell the tale. Vicious Phantom still trying to contest. They're just trickling down on the point, and that's not going to work out too well. And now, Team Status Dusk will lead this game. 1 map to 0.
Very close. 99 to 99.
Yeah. Pretty interesting decisions in the end of this one for Vicious Phantom. Their ult economy probably not exactly what they expected out of that one.
Yeah.
Just as you said, a lot of ults used for a lot of nothing. And on that side, maybe Team Status Dusk were also guilty of that crime, but to a lesser extent for sure. I feel like there was a lot more confidence in every single ult from the side of Dusk than there was for Vicious Phantom. But again, Phantom, with this map, they have proven that they can at least contest and try to get it done against Dusk. We
There's a
will
few
see.
compositional issues on both teams' side during that.
Yeah, we'll see how they fare in Junkertown. As we said earlier, Junkertown's kind of a more, you know, free-form map, very aggressive map. You have to be on your toes at all times, and maybe that's going to help Vicious Phantom, or maybe Dusk is still going to run away with it. Well, they didn't win by that large of a margin, but we could see that Vicious Phantom kind of used a bit of their tricks. Let's see if they have any remaining right now. As you can see, Junkertown, this beautiful question mark map.
I guess. It's on Australia, apparently. I know Australia is much nicer than that. I've never been.
You've never been to
Would
Australia?
you like to go to Junkertown?
Junkertown specifically, no.
No.
Not specifically that part of, not exactly that one. We're going to head in our second map of this game between Team Status Dusk and Vicious Phantom. Both teams are ready to go.
The good thing about Junkertown, though, is you can play pretty much any comfort composition you have, and you'll probably do all right with it. No real set compositions, or you're not forced to run this certain hero, or you can't run this certain hero. Kind of run everything. The Kiluin 500. I love NASCAR, so the Daytona 500 was last week.
Was it?
Yes, it was on Sunday.
Okay. I don't follow NASCAR at all.
I mean, I'm a big redneck.
You're a big redneck. All right. That's how it goes around
A
here.
Greek Canadian redneck loves his NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt Jr., man, insane. Junkrat on his home turf, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, we're gonna see more.
When will
Junkrat.
Blizzard just remove Junkrat from the game? They added him to HOTS for whatever reason, but like,
Attackers
why?
incoming
Look,
in
you
30
have a lot of thoughts about eliminating champions from
I-
this game.
Because they're bad.
They're bad. Junkrat is actually quite the meta dominator right now. He's doing
Because
quite
he
well.
inhibits toxic gameplay.
does not.
Well, let's look how
How
Junkrat
does he
sets
do
up.
that? How does the character do that?
So Junkrat's gonna have some great aim over here, where he's gonna look at the wall and just shoot some bombs, and gonna do a lot of damage,
One.
and it's
Attackers
insane. Look at him go.
Yes, that's what I like to see. Team Status Dusk will be on the
Bastion.
defensive side against Vicious Phantom in this second map in Junkertown. Here we go, map number 2. Team Status Dusk and Vicious Phantom. All right.
Arctic on Bastion, not a support. Switching support with Elenia, who was their tank the last round.
Yeah. Did win that one. Let's see if they can repeat the process by changing their competition like this. He's in the middle of the road, and that's not going to be too good for Mighty Magics as he gets sleep darted. Magnificent aim on DNPP to get that Genji locked out.
Taking a nap in the middle of the enemy team. Not really where you want to take your naps. For a nice comfy bed.
Just say it's a power nap.
Power nap in the middle of the enemy team.
Yeah, just want to regain the energy.
Oh, he's
come
gonna
back,
press
come
shift.
back stronger later. Oops. Nazgul trying to get some distance between him and the enemy team.
Insane mechanics.
He's completely
He's
left out of this fight. Vicious Phantom will move forward. 2 minutes and 42 seconds left to get that first checkpoint.
Nazgul's just waiting there. He's like, team? Team?
Yeah, that must
Hello?
be a bit scary.
Like, I need help.
Okay, well, flying out of there.
I'm 10 million miles in the sky. I need your help. Rip tire. There we go. Oh.
Sorry.
Junkrat doesn't like books.
Okay, completely nullified there. Nice defense on the side of the back.
Oh, big shatter.
Well. Look at that kill feed. That's 3 ultimates used in succession.
Push that cart.
Simferos picking up 3 with that one, and the Dragon Blade only picking up 1, but the damage considerable.
So this is the problem with team status's comp. Reinhardt on Vicious Phantom side just has a free shatter on whenever he wants. Nothing can block it. Literally nothing.
That's true.
So as soon as Reinhardt's like, I have shatter, I'm just gonna kill your whole team. Boom. Everyone is dead.
Not exactly what you want to see, especially considering charge pretty well. I mean, you do have the Diva to nullify the Flame Strike, but seriously, you gotta find a way to stop that Reinhardt. And Arctic not doing too well right now going into the fight and immediately going down. Mini, same thing on his side, his Roadhog, and not really doing quite well. Moneymaker, again, same story. Mini, just after getting resurrected, that's not what you want to do. Nazgul really trying to take a different approach to this, but he's trying to flee. Failing that one. We saw that.
As much as Junkrat destroys front lines, he needs himself a front line to actually kind of help him do his damage. But as of right now, they're just getting pushed back over and over. He's going to get 1.
Yeah, well, that's better than nothing. Simferos goes down, and that cart is protected. So far, so good. That team fight won by Team Status Dusk. They will have to fall back, regroup, rethink their situation. Mighty Magic's really low on life right now. He does have an ultimate, but he does not want to die. He wants to be with his team, and he used that one. Simferos, man, you can't just speak like that and risk dying. You know that Diva has rockets. Oh, that's a lot of life lost, and Simferos really risking his neck out there. Mighty Magic's doing the same in the sleep dart. No more. Moneymaker, same fate for him.
So I really don't understand what the Genji wants to do in this team status competition. It's like he's not really getting much off his Dragon Blade. He's not really getting pocketed by Ana because Ana has to help the Junkrat do damage. So I think it'd be much more beneficial for them to run a triple tank comp versus this Reinhardt Zarya composition that Vicious Phantom is giving us, but he's going to stick on it.
I think they may be stuck in a bit of a conundrum right now as Arctic decided to start the game with Bastion.
Graviton.
Probably one of the pocket picks for his team, and maybe he's finding himself in a position where he can't switch to any character he wants. Probably doesn't feel comfortable on all of them. Maybe can't fit the composition right now, needs to wait for Alinea to possibly switch with him, but still, they're doing okay. Team Status Dusk winning that team fight, and they have 3 ultimates remaining for the next one. 4 on the side of Vicious Phantom. And honestly, they're looking good. They have kind of cauterized the wound, stopped the payload. They've been doing really well, not letting them get too far on that second checkpoint.
Nazgul doing a lot of work on his Junkrat, actually.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, Junkrat. The home turf advantage, maybe, but he's been dominating the meta for a little while now. And another one of those, the rip tires, and he's coming, and he's going upstairs.
Look at this parkour. Gonna get the Mirth.
Okay, he's gotten 2 of those. Sorrow and Mighty Magics, both of the supports on the side of Phantom, are done for with that ultimate. Doing really well right now. The team kill on Status Dusk, and again, I was saying they had cauterized the wound, but I think it fully healed now.
But the same thing is like they're really relying on Nazgul to actually get them the picks and get them the damage. No Omnix.
Yeah, I think this is actually, you were talking about the Reinhardt problem, Leclerc doing really well, kind of having free reign on, and that is kind of a pun. But, okay, well, he's eliminated now, but really having free reign in that specific part of the map is pretty difficult with Reinhardt. You don't have the full ability to use your ultimate whenever you want, however you want, because of the difference in height for many characters, and Reinhardt isn't that much of a mobile champion. You have to find the right spots, but he's been sitting on that ultimate for a long time now, not capable of finding the right spot, and even if they don't necessarily have a way to stop it, if you are scattered across this map in height and distance, you can't really find a good spot for it.
I think both teams a little bit lacking compositionally. The team status has talked about it with their kind of funky setup with the Genji, and at the same time, Vicious Phantom running their 2 tanks with kind of lack of damage, where their Tracer isn't really getting the picks that she needs to.
Vitella's trying to flank on that one. He's only going to find a Genji, and he's going to fall. Team status doing very well right now, and yeah, you're going to want to stop doing it. Stopped fighting right there. The overtime is done for. Only 1 point on the side of Vicious Phantom. Dusk doing a really good job being a pillar defensively, even though they didn't seem to be in a great position to do so. You were talking about their composition, and they were obviously lacking in the defensive department, especially as a matchup against Vicious's composition itself. But really, Vicious didn't find the hole in there. They couldn't capitalize on the problematic composition from Dusk.
Do not admit Junkrat or Roadhog. I guess this is not Junkrat's home turf.
Look, it's always Junkrat's
Shoot
home
on
turf.
site.
Any map is Junkrat's home turf at this point. Got hometown
Kill
advantage
Junkrat.
everywhere.
That's my favorite sign. Junkrat, kill on site. That's what I wish the Blizzard balancing department would do to Junkrat. I don't know who's that. Is that? Oh, I have no clue. You've played Warcraft. You know all these secret. Man, I'm hungry. Come on, man.
I played Warcraft 3, my friend. That's all I have.
Where do I get the kebab icon, Blizzard? That's all I want.
The kebab icon?
Yeah, I have the stinky
dumplings
fish
and
icon.
kebab?
Stinky fish is the best icon in Overwatch. It's a very kawaii panda.
A what?
Kawaii panda?
Koala.
Kawaii, oh, whatever. I don't
It's a
know animals,
koala.
dude. I'm an engineering student. I don't look at animals. I don't look at people. I look at robots.
I look at robots all the time. Not a robot. You can't get that reference, and probably nobody does. Watch The Good
Nope.
Place, guys. It's a good show.
Ready to move.
TV.
Not a robot.
Showing your
TV.
age.
Yeah,
here.
you don't watch TV.
Hey,
I mean, I'm not going to say it's weird. It's not weird. You don't watch TV. It's fine.
I watch Twitch streams of I'm a Cutie Pie.
Well, okay. Well, that's weird.
1.
All right, team status Dusk versus Vicious Phantom, and now Dusk is on the offensive side. Let's see if Vicious Phantom can find the right composition to challenge Dusk
Hanzo.
and prevent themselves from going into another loss right now. Team status Dusk maybe shopping around for their first win of the season.
Mechanics.
Okay, well, Nazgul doing really well right now. Okay.
He shot a scatter arrow at the floor and killed him. But this composition actually really strange and working pretty well. The double shields, keeping Bastion on the point. Ouch.
Okay.
That sucks. And
Goodbye,
hurts.
Leclerc.
Simfela's probably going to get bopped here, too. Goodbye.
What a magnificent tracker here. A hunter born to use that bow and arrow. Okay, well, I'm just saying, Nazgul is doing some damage to that Vicious Phantom composition. They are flying to that first checkpoint so easily. They don't have to go too far to win this game. Vicious Phantom have to answer right now, or it is a donezo.
The pirate ship composition from Dusk working really well. The double shield is just keeping their one-trick Bastion on the point
I mean,
forever.
They do have the wind in their sails. Okay, that sleep dart, very efficient from Mighty Magics. Ouch. Not exactly what you want. He's still alive, and Nazgul will finally fall to Mighty Magics. Is that enough, though? Arctic gets the trade on Sorrow. Very good trade. Moneymaker trying to defend himself. Shield will come in handy. He is being healed right now. The grenade doing its work. Doing its magic, should I say. Nostra
Riptire.
has the Riptire, exactly. Gonna try to find the right spot for it.
12 p.m. A little bit.
All right, Tyre got destroyed by Nazgul. He's doing so well right now. There is nothing he doesn't see on that map. Linnea trying to act as the anchor for the team. Is he going to go down, though? Of course he is. Sinferos activating that visor. They are so close to the end
boosted
zone.
Orisa. Not fun to play versus. She's going to run at you and shoot you down.
And it's over. That final Hanzo ultimate guaranteeing them a spot for at least one victory in this season. They have won their first match. Team status Dusk gets it 2-0 against Vicious Phantom. Is that a giant snowball?
Yep.
I have never seen that one for some reason. And it's been around for a while, though, because I know the winter event was kind of a year ago.
Yeah, coming like a month ago, too.
It was a year ago. Don't worry. Sure, dude. I'm just kidding.
I thought that play was actually going to be the Shatter. Turns out it was just a charge into 2 kills, but the Shatter was pretty great.
Efficiency.
I clipped the Shatter more than I clipped that kill.
Well. Team status Dusk finally get what they so truly deserve. They have been improving with every game this season, and against Vicious Phantom, it was kind of too much for the Phantoms to bear as they lose another one. They do have a win on their record. I would admit, I'm pretty sure that Vicious Phantom want a legitimate win on their record, and they're going to be shopping around for that a little longer because Team Status Dusk won tonight's game 2-0 in what was kind of a very tight game at the very beginning on Ilios. It really seemed like this was going to go the distance with 3 maps, but we ended up ending it after 2, Team Status Dusk taking over that one. We are going to have Concordia versus Grizzlies up next right after this break. We're going on a break for a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere, though, because Concordia versus Grizzlies is coming up, just as we said.
Yep.
And it's going to be one hell of a game because Concordia will try to take down the king of this particular jungle, this northern jungle, the Grizzly Bear.
Call it a Tundra instead. Northern King of... Okay. King Polar Bear.
My metaphor.
Ruined.
My metaphor.
Destroyer of all metaphors.
You're wearing a Canadian shirt, and you won't let me call it a northern jungle?
Well, they're going to be the kings of Mount Royal. What kind of forest?
Look, you have to be the king of a jungle to
You can be a king of anything. I could be the king of this table.
Are you the king of this table?
Probably not.
All right, guys, we're going to see you in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Concordia versus Grizzlies up next tonight.